there. Where is the ceiling right now?
In the garbage.
Really? Like the plaster?
No, the plaster
Oh,
is
that's
in
in
storage. All the ornament is in storage.
Okay, yeah.
It's repaired, it's ready to go, but everything else, and a few samples that were saved, is in the garbage.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're putting that back up?
Every bit of it. Every piece of ornament came down to going back up as it was, where it was.
So what did you learn from when it came down?
We learned a lot. I did. Trish has a good little report that we wrote on the ceiling that you could get from her.
Okay, cool.
It's very detailed for it. It's not super in-depth. It is what's known as the bluff, the bottom line up front. I mean, it's been studied so much, and it's been looked at so much, and it's been speculated so much, and it's had so many experts look at it and determine this is that and that is this. No one's ever taken it apart.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is the third plaster ceiling they put up.
And the ornamentation too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is newer. This is not from the original period.
Plaster board on top. So here,
Try to get that horsehair.
and this is the 1/4 inch, 3/8 thick lath. And all of this lath was nailed in with very small lath nails, smallest I've ever seen. Every one of them, all of it, 2 nails. 2 nails per piece of lath stabbed in.
Okay.
Well, over time, what happened is these nails eroded, corroded, rusted away. And then you started getting this release right here.
Yeah.
This was in 1978. In 1979, this was no longer a problem. The lath wasn't tighter. But what they did in 1978 is they came in here and they put a piece of 1/4 inch thick
I'm gonna sit on the floor with you.
2-inch angle iron right there, and they through bolted it. And behind that angle iron, they had a galvanized wire going up and behind it. And then from here, they put a strut across here, and they tied a piece of wire to that galvanized mesh to keep it about 1/2 of an inch off of this lath. They poured a bonding agent on it, and I use the word pour, not brush, pretty much pour,
Okay.
because it was in there thick. It seeps down into all of the cracks, and in between the lath, that's where you get your plaster keys. That's how the plaster holds the keys in right there.
Yep.
It got to the keys, and it stabilized this plaster under it and kept it in place. And then they poured about 2 inches of molding plaster on top of this.
And that's in the 1970s?
It's
when they're-
1978. Found the date written on it.
On it,
Found
yeah.
the date, so that's when they did it. Molding plaster hardens, and it forms like a thin concrete slab. It kept this plaster ceiling in place for 48 years. It kept it from falling.
Yeah.
And it did not want to fall after that, but what it did do was add 12,000 pounds of weight to the ceiling.
Did they account for that? Is the
No one accounts for that. No one accounts for additional 12,000 pounds of anything. It's a debatable method, but at the end of the day, it did what it was supposed to, which
Keep
was
it up.
keep this plaster ceiling in place. This is not how it would be done today, but 48 years ago, this probably was not a bad idea. And the work that they did very well. They did a very thorough job on it. It was neat work. It was evenly spaced. The bolt pattern was consistent from one joist to the next. It was no hodgepodge make do with it. They did a very good install of all of this.
That's so cool.
They did a good job.
Yeah, that
of
is.
it.
So
But it's not what you would do today. By no means. If I had to come in here and keep this plaster ceiling from falling, I would not do this.
yeah.
It's not what I would do
Okay.
with it. But in the time, it wasn't bad. And I have.
So I guess they did all of that from the floor above.
They took the floor up.
From above, yeah.
They took the floor up. They took up all the floorboards, and they did everything from above. And you can see the outline, you can see where the plaster was poured. And as a matter of fact, that samples of it that I'm probably gonna leave right there. That's an absolute perfect detail of what was there.
And that plaster, was that the original?
That
Or
is the original plaster. And that is what was poured on top of the molding plaster. That is the strut that holds up the galvanized wire, the remnants of it that's in there. They turned the wire up the side of the joist, nailed it to the side of the joist, and then they put the steel angle iron against it and pinned it in with it. And I think the steel angle also had the intention of giving the floor some rigidity, but a 2-inch angle iron on a 20-foot span does not give you rigidity. It flexes with it. It moved with it. And this floor would move, I would say, close to 3/4 to an inch. If you stood in the middle of the floor and did that, just a bounce, and you could see it move. Amazingly, nothing fell, and I don't believe anything was in immediate danger of falling. After they did all this work, it did secure it. The medallion in the middle of the room was a pain to get down. What they did was they put dead wood in the middle of the room, and then they drove lag bolts into the dead wood and left about that much of the head exposed. And the ornament that makes up the medallion, which is a large piece, they hollowed out the back of it, scooped it out, and then they filled it with wet plaster and then pushed it up to the dead wood, and it hardened around the heads of the lag bolts. So then you get a mechanical tie.
And that was back originally, they did that
That was
back
done whenever this plaster was put in 1880s or whenever this was put
okay.
in. Well, no one knew the lag bolts were in there. Made it a giant pain in the ass to get out until we discovered that the lags were in there. And then it was real simple. Long sawzall blade, cut the damn lag. And
cut the lags.
And you get it down.
Yeah.
And it comes down.
What did it vibrate? The plaster vibrate with that sawzall
No.
and break?
No.
That's
It
good.
broke. A few pieces broke coming down. Some of it was pre-broke. Some was already broken, and a repair was done to it and held in place. And I think I broke 3 pieces on this, but 90% of them. This piece of plaster was off the main medallion in the center of the room. That is a twig. Someone just picked up a stick off of the ground, drilled a hole in this piece of ornament, drilled a hole in the other piece of ornament that it attaches to where it broke, and put it back together, and they used a twig
From
as a
outside.
tenon for the two of them to hold it back together. That was an old break, and then they actually didn't put it back together with bedding plaster between the two. They put it back together and just skimmed it with plaster. And that's it right there. We're going to put that stick back in.
Oh, yeah.
It goes back in.
And that's it coming
That's the
off.
progress of it coming down. So we get to the medallion, and it's obvious that we're going to run into trouble with the medallion. So what I came up with was just take metal plumbing strap, screw it to the ceiling, and put foam under the medallion to take care of surprises. I didn't know how well that was up.
Yeah, it could have fallen. You
And
didn't know.
everyone preaches falling, falling, falling.
Yeah.
So you kind of start believing that after a while.
Yeah. Always the fear that
So
it's
we
gonna
wound
fall.
up with something very similar to this. And as we took more of it out, we put more foam under it. And the goal was to cover every bit of the center flower in the medallion with foam and keep it strapped into place. And when we really started taking it out, we used good old duct tape.
Yeah.
And just mummified it with duct tape. And I'm convinced that did save a lot, because if a piece came loose, it could not go anywhere. And if plaster comes loose, it's okay. It's fine if it comes loose. What's bad is when it hits the floor.
Shatters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you just sweep it up.
Yeah.
And you toss it.
Toss it, yeah.
That's it.
I'm sure that was all over the floor when you were taking it down.
It was just remnants. Nothing good was on the floor. We didn't break anything that was notable. Nothing notable broke with it. And you just keep a good tight clean. But you can see the bond in between it right here. I mean, it is just so much buildup, and that itself is a bit of bonding agent right
That's a
in
lot.
there. It was a lot.
They did paint consolidation on the house before they started.
Yeah, don't get me going on it.
Did you say paint consolidation?
The centerpiece of the medallion. This was the flower that was in the middle of it, which is applied after. The actual large flower in the center of the medallion is 3 pieces. It is the 2 ends put together, and then there's the piece in the middle. So my problem was, how do I get that down? Do I just try to take down the center piece and risk breaking it, or do I cut through the center and take it down in 2 halves? But it was obvious it was 3 pieces, but I didn't know how well it was bonded in the middle. As it turned out, we managed to get the middle to give way and take it out. This guy right here, he's 6 feet tall for scale, and that is half
It's
of
so
that
big.
center flower. That's half of it.
Where is that at right now, the flower?
It's in the shop.
In the shop?
At our shop. In case they don't pay us, we're not giving it back. We're going to send them little bitty pieces of it.
Be like,
Yeah, if you ever
my
want to
favorite.
see this flower again,
yeah.
brown paper bag. Okay. This is the deadwood that's in the middle of the ceiling where the medallion was.
Okay.
And you
Come
see all of this
Brian.
pink?
Yeah.
This is all bonding agent.
From the 1970s, probably.
Yep, this is all bonding agent from the top. But this is all deadwood. And I've got some really good shots of it. That is it,
It's
right
beautiful.
after it came down on the ground. And I broke that piece. That piece was broken. That piece right there was broken. And I broke that piece getting it down, which actually is not bad. I think it's pretty damn good, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
That is a hole that is in the middle of the deadwood. That was the center of the flower.
Ah.
The only reason you would have that is a bolt for a chandelier.